Page 146. Certain sciences, charlatanry, and deception spread themselves out in the vast labyrinth of the secret sciences, which they, however, are not in the position to unravel. Members of these certain sciences, but also charlatans and deceivers, would-be greats and fools, indulge themselves in healing practices, etc., which are devoid of any logic and are based on irrational teachings. There was, e.g., the psychiatrist who dismissed and abandoned a 27-year-old woman as a hopeless case in the, quote, desert, whereas the same woman began a new life only 4 months later, totally healthy, healed by a knowledgeable layman who in a short time had taught her a correct, healthy, and new mode of thinking. But then there was also the healing practitioner, or i.e. quack, who sold his, quote, infallible God salt against leukemia and cancer, and who made each morning a net profit of 600,000 old francs from it. Then there was also still such and such a hypocrite who, quote, due to an oath, treated any illness, quote, without charge, albeit at a horrendous price, that the, quote, healed ones paid as, quote, voluntary honorariums. But there was also the fraudulent, quote, biologist, with his pseudo-super serum against leukemia, and there was still the great Italian professor who claimed to have captured the fluid of the stars. But there were and are also the great, quote, miracle and spirit healers who accomplish true, quote, miracles and, quote, heal their gullible patients of all possible illnesses through near and remote treatments, or i.e., taking them for a ride, because these poor creatures believe in the nonsense told to them. In all sorts of newspapers, magazines, and trashy publications, one finds advertisements of this kind, in which charlatans with known and unknown names refer to the mysterious unknown, to their, quote, spiritual powers, or to a, quote, helper from beyond, to their, quote, knowledge, and to the secret sciences. However, also, quote, scientists of the psychiatry of lesser rank spread themselves out in this manner, thereby bringing their nonsense and their irrational teaching with destructiveness and deadliness to the people. Advertisements like the following are not unusual. Psychiatry, the wonder science for a happy, healthy life. The psychiatrist, the rescuer and preserver of your life. The fascinating stare of the hypnotist, effortless, simple, easy, pain and addiction of all kinds disappear in no time, forever. Give up smoking through hypnosis, guaranteed success. The undulation bracelet, the wonder remedy against rheumatism. Awaken love, effective formula according to ancient Indian magic. Success in love through the miracle talisman. Psychiatrist, the rescuer of humankind. The psychiatrist, your rescuer from affliction and misery. The true secret knowledge is able to parry many hard blows, but in order to disclose the ridiculousness of and the profiteering, no quack shies away from adopting a title for himself or herself, such as a spirit healer, psychiatrist, hypnotist, professor, guru, master, prophet, or magician, and holy one. And yet often the entire, quote, wisdom of these artists only consists therein of them completing a few semesters of irrational teachings, or having indulged in a primitive, shoddy literature. Shoddy literature, which is introduced to people under pompous titles, as for example, quote, spirit healing, quote, the way to spirit healing, quote, how to become a psychiatrist, quote, you, the great psychiatrist, quote, magic arts, etc., etc. It should indeed be self-evident and clear that the above-mentioned quacks, scientists, charlatans, and deceivers have in no wise anything to do with those who conduct their science, their spirit healing, hypnosis, etc., soundly and honestly, with the necessary knowledge and ability. Unfortunately, however, it is so that of all people, it is the great deceivers, charlatans, and would-be greats with very well-known names that have usurped the various areas of the healing, deceiving the people, and writing large, thick books. It is in no wise disputed that various human beings are absolutely capable to operate as spiritual healers, hypnotists, telepaths, telekinetists, etc., because the spiritual and the consciousness-based powers are undeniably the mightiest. They are powers that are even able to destroy matter. Through them, things can be accomplished which are regarded as unexplainable, or miracles, to the layman, but seen naturally are absolutely normal. But with the demonstration of such spiritual or consciousness-based powers, greatest caution is recommended because deception and charlatanry are very much at home in this area and are often only immensely difficult to verify. This is especially the case where a human being is delusional or where he or she can be very easily influenced. And it is exactly through these delusional and easily influenced human beings, who unfortunately also usually still believe in the nonsense of the 6th and 7th or even in all 13 books of Moses, that all kinds of charlatans and deceivers gain the upper hand. Through them, quote, miraculous healings, quote, spiritual, near, and remote treatments happen very easily. Because if a human being believes in the nonsense of such deceivers and charlatans, then a healing of an affliction, etc., can be absolutely possible. However, that the healing lies completely in the patient's own power because he or she is convinced of a healing or of any other success is concealed from him or her by the charlatans, pendulumists, deceivers, and other swindlers. Because would they reveal this, then a success would be very questionable, and all these swindlers and deceivers would be out of work. They can only actually make a living on the foolishness of their believers, just like the religions. Really serious human beings, who in all honesty use secret knowledge, or shared secret knowledge, for the benefit of love for the next one, and for the help of the fellow human beings, do not indulge themselves in the pompous, irrational teachings and in the pseudo-knowledge. These human beings think further and attempt to decipher the great secrets of the natural logic and the laws of nature, and to make them usable for the well-being of the human beings. Actual, serious scientists and helpers make an effort for real cognitions and great beneficial knowledge in reference to the entire life of the human being. These are devoid of any unsound fantasies and, quote, small-minded irrational teaching. But unfortunately, these kinds of scientists and helpers are very hard to find, since on account of their honest and real knowledge and ability, on account of their profound cognitions and deeds, they are avoided, suppressed, and pushed into the background by their colleagues, etc. But this has been going on since time immemorial, because the incomprehensible and new, or the incomprehensible and new which in reality is already thousands of years old, will not be accepted because certain sciences are not able to free themselves from their, quote, small-minded, irrational teachings. That should now, however, not mean that every scientist or healing practitioner has fallen prey to an irrational teaching, because luckily there are exceptions to the rule. Consequently, also real knowing ones in this matter are to be found, as well as knowing ones in the matter of the psyche. Knowing ones who have recognized the fact that a stricken psyche cannot be healed with medication or other poisons, etc., and that a recovery of a psychically stricken human being can only be completely achieved by the patient himself or herself. Therefore also no psychiatrist can bring any recovery to a psychically stricken human being, because such can only be initiated and accomplished by the respective patient himself or herself. Therefore a helper or psychiatrist represents only a guide for the patient, if the necessary cognizance for this really exists. However, this wisdom is based by and large on a much deeper wisdom that is generally learned and applied. Autogenic training, or autosuggestion, the Coué method, or opposite thinking / thinking of health, etc., in no wise help a psychically stricken human being. Quite the opposite. They represent high-grade poisons, high-grade fuel that is poured on an inflaming fire. But in order to be able to understand this, the knowledge about the high-valued logic of the subconsciousness is necessary. Having only an erroneous assumption of how the subconscious could function is, unfortunately, not enough. On the contrary, it is destructive and deadly.